Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and are having a flare-free day. Thanks so much for coming to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about liver endometriosis and how endometriosis, lesions, adhesions, and stroma have been found on the liver. Now, I do want to stress that endometriosis is a full body systemic inflammatory disease. Endometriosis has impacted every single organ in the human body. So definitely keep that in mind when we hear that endo is a reproductive disease only. That's not the case. It is a full body disease. This video is going to touch upon what the liver is, what are some signs and symptoms of liver endometriosis, and some treatment options that have come down the pipes when it comes to research. So if that interests you, then feel free to keep on watching. Just a quick note and a disclaimer that I am not a doctor. I am just an endometriosis patient that has done a lot of research. A great way to find information around endometriosis in the extrapelvic area of the human body is extrapelvicnotrare.org. They have amazing resources and a lot of them are used in today's video. So just to keep that in mind, and if there are any new or recurring symptoms that you're having with your body, it's always good to talk to your doctor about it. So the liver is located on the right side of the upper abdomen, and a large portion of the liver is actually tucked underneath the rib cage, just below the diaphragm. The diaphragm is what separates the chest from the abdominal cavity. The liver is an accessory organ to the digestive system. It produces bile, which is a substance that is necessary to break down fatty foods. The liver also produces proteins that are used throughout the body. Substances altered by the liver include some classifications of medications, alcohol, toxins, and androgens, which are hormones. Now, when we look at liver endometriosis, the history of it is pretty short when we look at when it was first published in research and in reports. First published case of liver endometriosis was in 1986. So pretty short on the history front when it comes to when liver endometriosis was first discovered. Now, over the past 3 decades, there have been more documented cases of liver endometriosis coming out slowly and surely, but we are still kind of behind when it comes to research for endometriosis. I personally believe that we need more research and funding to find more about how it impacts certain organs in the human body, including the liver. Now, lesions, adhesions, and stroma of endometriosis can be found on different areas of the liver. It can be found on the liver tissue, the parahepatic capsule or surface, or within both areas. So on the surface of the liver and within the actual tissue of the liver itself. There have been cases reported of individuals being 19 up to past 55 years of age. It doesn't discriminate based on age or race, so definitely something to keep in mind. Extrapelvicnotrare.org studied a couple of cases of liver endometriosis, and majority of those cases studied found the majority of liver endometriosis between those of the ages of 30 to 49 years of age. Now, when it comes to liver endometriosis, the symptoms may range when compared to other organs in the human body that are impacted by endo. Now, when it comes to symptoms and pain associated with endometriosis on diverse organs in the human body, a lot of individuals say that they experience symptoms or changes in pain around the time of their period. But when it comes to liver endometriosis, a lot have had pain outside of the time of their period. So when it comes to liver endometriosis, it's important to recognize that symptoms often appear not around the time of your period. Now, with those that had liver endometriosis, symptoms and pain around the time of their period, so that small number of individuals studied, majority experienced upper right shoulder pain and deep inhalations around the time of their period. So that was associated with liver endometriosis and the symptoms around their period. It's really important to note too that those with liver endometriosis on the superior and posterior areas of the liver did have an increased risk of having adhesions between the liver and diaphragm. So additional symptoms of liver endometriosis include upper abdominal right side pain, so where the liver is located. Again, that upper right shoulder pain during a time of your period. Symptoms after eating a meal, including chest pain or a bit of fatigue. Additional symptoms of liver endometriosis can be nausea, vomiting, jaundice, portal vein thrombosis, chest pain, and gastric pain. I'd be curious to know if you have liver endometriosis and you have different symptoms that presented for you. Again, everybody's body is unique and beautiful, meaning that our symptoms are sometimes unique and beautiful from research that has been reported. We're not very far with endometriosis research, so the list of symptoms that are presented in reports may not fully capture the experience of those living with liver endometriosis. When it comes to diagnosing liver endometriosis, oftentimes other surrounding organs are investigated for other conditions or concerns that could be causing that additional pain or discomfort outside of endometriosis. But organs that are around the liver that are often impacted and looked at include the gallbladder, stomach, spleen, and intestines. Imaging techniques can be used to aid in the diagnosis of liver endometriosis. Some of these techniques include, but are not limited to, ultrasounds, CT scans, and MRIs. It's really important to note too that when it comes to other organs in the human body and endometriosis, sometimes imaging techniques like ultrasounds, MRIs, and CT scans may not necessarily pick up endometriosis lesions. So if you go have a test and they come back with nothing is abnormal, it doesn't mean that you don't have endometriosis in that area of the human body that was researched. It just means that the endometriosis lesions may be hiding or really difficult to see on those imaging techniques. The research conducted for liver endometriosis, a lot of individuals got a blood test conducted to see if there was any abnormalities when it comes to their liver. The blood test didn't necessarily come back with anything related to endometriosis specifically, but it did help rule out other conditions that could be impacting the liver. So blood tests were a good idea to just rule out other things to kind of narrow down the focus of it could be endometriosis. The majority of cases that were studied by extrapelvicnotrare.org, they did outline that a lot of individuals went through surgery, and that included liver resectioning. The type of resectioning on the liver depended on the location of those endometriosis lesions. With lesion removal on the liver during surgery, most techniques also removed a small portion of healthy tissue that surrounded the lesion or adhesion on the liver. Removing healthy tissue around that lesion on the liver really did help to reduce the ability of that endometriosis lesion regrowing. So if you'd like more information about liver endometriosis and the signs, symptoms, and treatment available for liver endo, feel free to look in the description box below. I've linked extrapelvicnotrare.org's website, as well as some other research that I found along the way when it came to liver endometriosis. I'd be really curious if you've ever heard of liver endometriosis or if you live with it yourself and some of the signs and symptoms that you experience, as well as how you got to your diagnosis. I know when it comes to endometriosis, it can be so difficult to find someone that first believes your pain and your story, but second sees endometriosis on organs outside of the pelvic region. It does impact reproductive organs in the pelvic area, but it goes so far beyond that. So the more we raise awareness around extrapelvic endometriosis, I'm hopeful that the more we get information to help those going through discomfort, pain, and new symptoms. With that, I hope this video has helped, and I cannot wait to talk to you on the next one.